Hello. Lime
Hi.
Popsicle has another comic book he wants to share with me, and I haven't really taken a look at it at the front cover yet. Do you
That's
want
right.
me to look at that now, Lime Popsicle?
Go ahead.
Huh. Mildly microwaved pre-pubescent kung fu gophers?
Yeah, that's their comic for today.
Okay, ignoring that this is an obvious Ninja Turtles ripoff, the the name by itself, mildly microwaved. What would they even still be alive? I don't understand.
Probably not. Now, now in these in the black and white comic book boom of the '80s, caused by the, like I said, the Turtles comics and ElfQuest and things like that. Um, because everybody wanted to be the next Ninja Turtles. Some of them either did rip-offs of the Ninja Turtles or they did parodies of the Ninja Turtles. This one kind of falls in between the two. It kind of blurs the line between both of those, I would say. Because you'll notice that the Gophers, if you look at the ground there,
Um,
they're surrounded by comic books based on different animals. Yeah, so that is a reference to all the many different comic books that had come out in the wake of the Turtles' success, based on basically any different kind of animal was a game for a comic book, because people just tried anything to try to emulate the Turtles. So you see, you got weasels, there's turtles there, rats, um, I can't see a lot of them that well. Beetles. If I make it bigger, I can see them. Aardvarks,
there's snakes.
dolphins, fish, amoeba. There's amoeba. Cows, ants, oxen. So bears. There's a lot of different things. There's slugs. Stoats. What are stoats?
It's kind of like a weasel, sort of.
That's a real animal?
Yeah.
A stoat? I never heard of that. Now, what would you like to comment on examining this cover?
Well, at first I thought it was ridiculous, but now that I know this is kind of supposed to be a satire, it's actually. It might be pretty well done, but I don't know. Like, the artwork looks good. So,
yeah,
no problem with that.
Of all the comic books we've done so far, by far, I would say the artwork is the best in this one of any that we've done so far. You'll notice that this is Just Imagine Special. It says at the top.
That's who made it?
Well, what that is a reference is, yeah, pretty much, but the company that made this comic book had made an anthology series, a black and white anthology series in the early 80s called Just Imagine Comics and Stories. It was actually pretty well received, and it's a pretty good comic. This was the last comic that they ever published. They hadn't published the Just Imagine anthology series for about a year or two when they published this. I'm assuming that they either thought that they just wanted to try to ride the bandwagon like everybody else was and do a Turtles parody / ripoff, or they were kind of making a jibe at the comics industry, because they mentioned in, I think, the last issue of Just Imagine that the industry was kind of being flooded with poor quality comics. So maybe this was kind of their revenge on that, making fun of them in a way. But the weird thing about it is that this comic was still intended to be a series, a regular series, and they were hoping it was going to be successful. So that's why I say it kind of blurs the line there between parody and ripoff.
So this is the only one of these comics in existence. There's no sequels.
Yeah, there was no second issue of this, although they wanted to make a second issue. So it wasn't supposed to be a one-shot, although some people, well, it may have been a one-shot at the time, but they were hoping to make more issues, but I guess it didn't sell enough.
That's sad.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You notice there's a skull, that one of the Gophers is standing on a skull, and there's a bone there.
What's up with that?
Well, you'd think that would mean that they just, they're, I don't know, they're fighting some enemies, maybe. I mean, look, the looks on their faces make you think that they've got to be fighting someone. It's kind of funny how the one Gopher's using chopsticks, though, as a weapon. One's got a shuriken, one's got chopsticks, and what's that other thing called? What is that called that the other guy's got?
Nunchakos.
Right, nunchucks, right?
And that last one, the big guy, looks like he's using one of the other Gophers as his weapon.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I did not notice that till you just pointed it out to me. Yeah, he's picking him up with one hand. And it looks like he's going to throw him at the enemy, right? Now, if you want to see what they're looking at and what they're so angry about, go to the back cover.
All right.
That's what we should do next, probably. So
is that the last scan?
Yeah, scan 38, and you'll see what they're so angry about.
All right. Gopher Broke Incorporated. Are they angry about the merchandising?
Yeah, I think this is a jibe at all the Mutant Ninja Turtle merchandising that was going on, all the shameless, different things they were selling to make money off of it. I think that's what this is a parody of.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles commercialism got pretty disgusting.
So you see there's dartboards, there's posters, there's Gopher buttons, there's a Gopher coffee cup, there's t-shirts, there's a hat, there's bumper stickers. You want to read some of those bumper stickers?
Honk if you love Gophers.
Yeah.
Gophers, yes. Turtles, soup.
Yeah.
This car speeds up to run over Gophers.
And there's dolls there. And then there's also a jibe here at the Solo Comics, because they weren't just happy, obviously, making one comic featuring all the team. There was, a Raphael comic, a Donatello comic. So here we have Just Imagine presents Solo. Just Imagine presents Alone. Just Imagine presents Micro Series. So there's all these spin-offs from it to make more money. Just Imagine presents All by Himself.
Each Ninja Turtle got their own series?
Well, they did it from, I don't know if they did from Mirage Studios or not. I'm not that up on it, but I do know that there were comics published featuring the solo ones. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that there were. And then after they're all featured alone, notice the last comic in the row is Just Imagine presents Together Again.
So they broke up, or?
And that's what it looks like, and then they got back together again. Now, read the ones near the bottom. Do you want to read those?
Cashing in on trends, or how not to feel guilty on your way to the bank. Triple adjective and a noun comics.
Because there were so many comics with titles like that at the time.
The whole Gopher catalog. And the comics bestiality, or bestiary. Not bestiality.
It's not. Yeah.
Did Ninja Turtles really have turtles catalogs and bestiaries of all their enemies?
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them, though. There are a lot of Turtles comics.
Well, I know Dungeons and Dragons did that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, already...
Oh, wait, there's one more on the floor. Just Imagine meets the Gophers.
So are you getting the idea right now that, first of all, the writer of this and the artist appeared that they're to be more talented than the ones that we've seen in the last two comics?
Yeah, and it seems to be, like, intentionally a satire.
Right. Some people consider this a bad comic, but I think they're missing the point of it because I think it's just a pure ripoff. But I think they're missing the satire because if we're looking at it like this, I think we can both agree that this was intended as a satire, right?
Oh, wow, so you're finally giving me a good comic now?
Well, it could be construed as such. But we'll have to see if you think the story and the humor in the story, though, lives up to the cover. Because the cover is pretty well done, I have to say.
I'm expecting something like what the Tick is to Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay, so you ready to start with the first page? Or the inside cover?
Alrighty. Alright. The gopher is no loafer. He burrows night and day. And once again I ask myself, when will he go away? With flood and fire he will expire. 'Tis advice my friends have lent. I haven't the heart to take his life, but I could charge him rent. By Rita Parrott.
I don't know what that is supposed to be, that little poem. It's kind of unusual.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on it?
Who is Rita Parrott?
I don't know. But I know that the logo there was their logo for the company. Obviously, Just Imagine Graphics Limited, that they used on Just Imagine Comics and Stories. I don't know who Rita Parrott is, though.
All right, moving on.
Now, if you look at did you look at the bottom there?
No, it was like too hard to read it.
Oh well, it's not really. It's just the indica. What do they call it? Indicia? How do you pronounce that?
I don't know.
But it's just the copyright information stuff, like Just Imagine Special, Volume 1, Number 1, July 1986. So it's another 1986, published quarterly by Just Imagine Graphics. But yes, this is the only issue, as we said. It was Just Imagine Graphics was located in 11 South 767 Book Road, Naperville, Illinois. A lot of these comics, you'll notice, were based in Illinois. 60565.
That's the same address as Joyce Lorraine. Or the same, not her address, but her zip code.
What is it?
Yeah, 60565.
Really? I didn't notice that. So these, they were in the same area then, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
So she was in Illinois too? Was she in Illinois or was she in a different state though?
I distinctly recall in the mailbag portion it said to mail her to Illinois 60565.
Well, this is really weird then because every comic we've done so far has been published in Illinois. Because John Tar was as well. Watseka, Illinois. Isn't that weird?
Huh. Must be a major comic publishing area.
Yeah, or, you know, an amateur one anyway. And then the staff of Just Imagine Graphics is listed here. People can read that if they want. Do you want me to read that?
It doesn't seem interesting or funny in any way.
No. Well, it could be interesting, I guess, I guess I will read it, because what if somebody who published this happens to watch this video? They might like it if you said their name, so I'll read that part. Virginia Messenger, president and managing editor, Rick Taylor, art director, Wendy Lee, editor, Jim Molina, editor, and Jill Thompson, editor. So just the fact that they have 3 editors shows you that it's a bit more, it's a more professionally made.
That's a good sign.
And the rest of it's all just about, no similarity between any of the names and all that stuff that you find all of them. And there's nothing, they didn't include anything funny in there, so we'll just skip reading that and go to the next page.
Finally.
Yeah.
The Vault of Obscure Phrases. Writer George Macass. Penciler Jim Molina. Inker Jill Thompson. Letters Ginny. Cover Phil Foglio. Is this the opening credits?
Yes.
Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce. The force is strong, but not too bright. Who you gonna call?
That's a reference to Ghostbusters, of course.
Liv from New York.
No, that's Live. That's a reference to Saturday Night Live's opening.
Love is... It's like that song. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
That's right. You see, each of these is an actual, it says obscure phrases, but, they're not that obscure, right? They're all based on real phrases anyway.
Right. Dave's not here.
That's
In the
probably
beginning.
From David Letterman's show.
From the town of Bedrock.
You know what that is, right?
Of course. Don't leave home without it. Say the magic void.
Yeah, that's from Groucho Marx used to say that on You Bet Your Life as a game show in the 50s.
Watch out for that tree. It's a George of the Jungle reference.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Barump.
No idea. You missed In the Beginning.
What did I miss?
In the beginning, but that's okay. Keep going.
I said in the beginning.
Did you? Oh, I didn't. Sorry about that. See how many more of these you recognize.
There's so many of them. Submitted for your approval. A 3-hour cruise.
Do you know that one?
Twilight Zone.
No, that's Gilligan. Oh, yeah, Twilight Zone, right? The first one is.
It's
yeah,
a combination of Twilight Zone and Gilligan's Island.
That's right. Very good. That's right, yeah.
Do you think Gilligan's Island is a part of the Twilight Zone? I mean, think about it. They're perpetually trapped on that island with no way out, and they have to put up with each other for the rest of their lives, and everything they try to do to get off fails.
It is kind of like a Twilight Zone episode, now you think about it. Right?
Have a happy New Year.
I think people used to say have a happy back then. I think it was just an expression, but I'm not sure.
What's up, Doc? That's obvious.
Yeah.
Where's the fire?
It's probably where's the beef. They used to have a commercial where an old woman would go into a fast food place, I think it was, and say, "Where's the beef?" It was really popular back when this comic was published.
Wow, this comic is locked into a time capsule, isn't it?
It's interesting, though. Follow the Yellow Brick Road. You know what that is.
If you weren't around in the 80s, you wouldn't know half this stuff.
Yeah, some of them are 80s. Just the Facts, Ma'am is a Dragnet reference from the 50s.
To the moon, you dirty rat.
Now, do you know what those are?
Is that a Biker Mice from Mars reference?
No. You dirty rat was what James Cagney used to say in gangster movies in the 1930s. He'd go, "You dirty rat." Kind of say it like that. And To the Moon is a reference to the Honeymooners. Have you seen that sitcom from the 50s? Because Ralph would always say, "To the moon, Alice." He'd always threaten her with that.
Badges. We don't need no.
Yeah, that's a reference to a 50s movie, too, where I think a Mexican guy was talking to Humphrey Bogart, or somebody said, "Badges? We don't need no stinking badges." That's what that is.
You knew the job was dangerous when you took it.
Not sure what that one is.
What's your sign? Here's looking at you, kid. And
Here's
something.
looking. Yeah, here's looking at UK as a Humphrey Bogart phrase.
I think this one's upside down. Wonder I hate.
Where are you looking? I hate Monday.
Yeah, I hate Monday. It's upside down, but it's also backwards when you try to turn your head upside down and look at it.
I think that's a reference to Garfield. You know the Garfield comic? I think he says that in it sometimes. I hate Monday, or he used to, right?
All right. Beam me up, Scotty.
Oh, you knew that one.
Yeah, but the thing is, on Star Trek, nobody ever said, beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, but it just became a stereotype, though, because that's happened with other things that people didn't actually say, but people thought, oh, I remember them saying it, and it never actually happened. I can't read that other. Can you read that?
Frankly.
Oh, frankly, my dear. Yeah, that's a Gone with the Wind reference, the 1939 movie.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Always.
So that's Star Wars, right?
Did we get them all?
You didn't do the one at the bottom there. The two at the bottom.
Excuse me, princess.
That's a Steve Martin reference. He used to say that in his stand-up act in the 70s.
No, it's a reference to the Zelda cartoon.
No, it's before the Zelda cartoon came out. Before Zelda came out, isn't it?
Wow, that is a mind trip. An era where Zelda didn't exist.
Yes. Then we get Moose and Squirrel. Do you know what that one is?
Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Yep, you got it. So this is interesting because it's really the vault of phrases here. It's phrases from, what did I say, like from the 30s right up to the 1980s. So it's kind of neat trying to, catch them all there, I think, anyway.
All right. Can we finally read what the Gophers are saying?
Yeah, how are we going to know who's going to play who? How do we decide that? We got 4 different Gophers, so do you have any ideas?
We don't have Paramoltart with us with his infinite.
Yeah, we don't. So we're going to have to take 2 Gophers each. But how will we know which ones are ours? Like, one wears a mask all the time, so that's easy. But how do you tell the other 3?
Well, there's this big one in the back with his... He has... like a pocket protector full of pencils.
Okay, yeah, we could do it that way. So why don't 2 of us be the big one with the pocket protector and the mask guy, and the other 2 will be the other 2? Because the other 2 look a little more similar to me.
Well, not really. One of them has these huge bangs.
Well, that's true.
And the other one has shorter hair. And he looks less angry.
So which ones do you want to be? Which 2 do you pick?
I don't even know which ones I like yet.
No, well, yeah. Well, you can pick 2, though. Go ahead. I'll let you take the first. I'll just take the 2 you don't.
All right. With powers and abilities far beyond. Nah, too expensive.
Okay, so you're gonna be those 2. Okay, so I'm the guy with the bangs. I hope he has bangs so I'll recognize him in all of them, the panels, and then the masked guy. Okay. Let me see, what kind of voice should I do with this? You're the only one stupid enough to wear a mask. Hey, I think I found something. Now do your other line.
How about once upon a time?
Too flowery. Here's one. Who was that masked? And of course that's a reference to the Lone Ranger.
Interesting.
Okay, so what they're going through all these phrases, I can only assume because they want a catchphrase. Like the Turtles had cowabunga dudes.
Oh, jeez.
right?
I didn't catch on to that.
Now, the next page is part of a huge splash panel that takes up 2 whole pages.
Really?